Okay, good afternoon, guys. As you can see, I'm in a trade here at the moment. Took that visual second entry short. I took it, well, on an engulfing, actually. It wouldn't have given you, if you'd have put it one tick below there, it wouldn't have given you a 1.5 at the moment. It hit a 1.5, but to push through. So I like it because we've had that really strong downtrend, which is fitting nice. We've got a leg, a break, and another leg. So that to me looks like two legs. And I like the trade. I'm out comfortably before the bottom, but it does seem to be going a bit sideways. So I think that'll hold. Usually, sometimes it'll go a bit sideways, but usually if it's a good bar, it'll eventually hold and eventually work. So I think it's okay. So I like the bar anyway. We've got a push up, a break, and another push up. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a good setup. Push down, a little bit of a pullback. I think we're okay. I don't know whether to get out of 1.5 or just stick with it, but I think it's okay. If it drops below there, hold on a minute. No, let me just sit on it. Sometimes you've got to be patient. If it's a good setup, if anyone went one tick below there, it didn't push through with a 1.5.
Order filled.
So, okay, brilliant. Excellent. Sometimes you just got to believe in your trade. So if you put, once it gets below there and there, because after this, there's probably going to be some people trying to pick along. If you put it one tick below there, that was a 1.5. So, excuse me. I think the trade's nice. We've got a leg up, a break, another leg. So it's not, by the count, it's a third entry, but it's visually, to me, a second entry. So we've got one leg. Sorry. Yeah, it's a visual, you know what I mean, visual second entry, and a nice bearish bar which engulfs that, and it's sitting. That's exactly where I like to take them nicely. So it was going a bit sideways, but you know, sometimes you're thinking you just need to sort of pick your trades and just go with it. You were in that too, were you? Yeah, I can't see a problem with it. We've had a really big, strong push. It looks like a leg and a leg. It looks like two legs, doesn't it? So as far as I'm concerned, you can, you know, some people say, well, it's not technically, but how many times do we, Max, say it's a visual second entry? Refresh, and that nice bar disappears. Oh, I don't want to do that because I look like an idiot then. So that bar doesn't look nice. Oh no, I want to keep it now because if I, is it a doji? Is it really? God, I don't know why it works that way. Oh no, I don't do it. It was a doji. Oh God. I don't want to. Trouble is, if it's a doji, I'm going to get people saying, "What the hell did you take that one for?" I'm just going to leave it. Actually, I'm going to leave it for now anyway. Okay, there's a lower high there which is triggered, so we'll see what happens. I'll go on then. You keep your nice bars. I don't want to let go of it because it's a nice. That's the trouble sometimes. If it's I don't know. Sometimes if they're just meant to be. If that continues down, I'm not concerned too much. Take a screenshot of it now. Yeah, I will do actually. That's a good point actually. Okay, so let's take a screenshot. Good point. That saves me looking like a right moron, doesn't it? Okay, so it's 7th of the 9th, 23. Save, okay. It's a good job I didn't say it. That's what I don't understand sometimes about these charts, how one person can get that. How can you, how can you have a 90 sort of something % chance? Sorry for yesterday. Should have put a bell when the market starts. How can you take a nice setup and on someone's chart? That's what I don't understand, but you've seen it now anyway. Reload. I just don't understand this sometimes. In fact, I'm going to take a picture before and after, and I'll post that later on the Facebook group and just see what people's thoughts are, because, yeah, I see what you mean. Mind you, a couple of ticks and that wouldn't have been a terrible bar, but it would. So what I'm going to do is take a snap of that as well, as it is. Save chart image, so 7th, 9th, 23. No, sorry. 523. 1. Let's go with that. At least, yes. Strange that is now. It works like that. Necross, what do you mean sorry for yesterday? What did you do, bud? You didn't do anything, did you? Sorry for yesterday, good luck today. Oh, I see what you mean, sorry. Okay, so I did trade a bit later on and I took a 4-point runner short. Where was it? Was it here? Was it there? I took a runner for 4 points. Where was it? That one there. A leg and a leg. I took that runner and I got 4. Did I get 4 a bit more? No, I got 4 points out of it. That one there. Yeah, I come out about there. So I got a chunk of it back, actually, in all fairness. So I was only about 300 down. So it happens, doesn't it? I've just been thinking, actually, and I've just been getting a little bit careless lately. I'll tell you what it is. It's because I lost those accounts. Sometimes it takes a while to get that frustrating out your system, and sometimes we act out on the market. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's why. I think that's why I was probably a bit careless yesterday. Let's have a look. Training session started. Please close the chat so you can start doing recently. Okay, I'll quickly say hello anyway. It's going a bit sideways anyway, so let's have a look. So, FSen, how you doing, bud? Groll Daddy, how you doing? Woods, how you doing, pal? Did you get in on that downtrend after you stopped the stream? Yes, I did. Yeah, I've just told you that now. Yeah, I got 4 points and then I quit. So, yeah, so Kevin, I was in that too. Good try. Yeah, strange that, isn't it? But, well, I don't see, it does make you wonder whether it's better before or after that. I'll take some photos. I've took some photos. I'll put them on the Facebook group later and have a bit of a chat about that. You need to reload. Yeah, done. Chris, you keep the nice pass. Tempting, man. Very tempting. Take a screenshot. Yeah, brilliant. Cross should put a bell in when the market starts. Yeah, you can't get a bell. I wonder if you can get a bell, an actual market bell on here. Just drop to MES. Things starting to go bad for me. Oh, I feel your pain, bud. Brant, what chart do you have going when you have the chat turned off? Sounds like you sounds like you're what? Reposting to people, sometimes reposting. I'm not sure what you mean there, bud. Okay, so all I've got now is the 2000 tick chart. That's it. As you can see there, I've got nothing on the chart above me. I'm just sticking with what I know now. I think sometimes when things go wrong, you look for other answers, and sometimes the answers are staring in front of you. So I'm just going to focus on the one chart. I've got rid of bookmap. Also, I've had to stop the comments on the videos because I keep getting that what's it guy, Max guy. He's just targeting me. He's giving me some grief for some reason. I don't quite know why. He sent me a message a few days ago, a couple of days ago, saying that if I don't accept his help, hold on a minute. I took a photo of it. If I don't accept his help, I don't. Last night. If I don't accept his help, I don't. I can't remember what it says. Hold on, see if I can find it. It was something like, if I don't accept his help, then I don't deserve to be a trader and be successful, or something like that. He said him and Mac are the only two he knows that can harness the power of. I don't know what the hell he's on about, but I said, look, I'm not interested. Blah blah blah. Stop messaging me. Something. So he started putting some messages on the after the comments. So I just don't know. I don't know if you guys know him. They call him Money Max on the Facebook group, but I don't really know who he is. But apparently he has a Discord, and he gets people to pay $250. There was a couple of lads said they'd been ripped off or something like that. I don't quite know, But yeah, he's just keeps sending me messages and just getting funny with me, and I don't quite know why. So I've just stopped in the messages just for a few days, just on the after he was saying, I don't know what he was saying. He was just saying some weird stuff. I think he's a bit of a nutcase, I think. He's just trying to get monthly payments from people. He keeps saying, I need to, if I'm going to take it seriously, I need to start letting him teach me. I don't know. It's just weird stuff. I don't read it fully, but it's just a bit weird, I think. But I know a couple of people yesterday were saying that they, or a couple of weeks ago, somebody put it, was it? I forget who it was. I don't know. Someone on Facebook group said his mate had paid him 250 quid. But someone had got their money back or something, but I don't know, $250 so. But he's sending me messages, so I sent him one back yesterday saying, I won't go into it too much, but just Max something his name is. If he does message something, just be careful. Because apparently he's ripped people off. Max talked about him or something or other, but just be a little bit careful if he does message you. Because he kind of writes really nice messages initially, you know, I see potential in you, blah, 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 and all that sort of crap. So there you go. So anyway, yeah, I took that for 2 points. As you know, I think most of you saw, before I reloaded, it was an actual beautiful bearish bar. It was higher than that, and it was sat beautifully bearish below there, and it looked like a visual second entry short to me, but I got 2 points out of it. I think someone else got something out of it as well, and then someone said it was a doji, so I don't know how it works, but I've took screenshots. I might send them screenshots to Mac, actually, and see what his opinion are on the reloading. Why does it do it and that, but I don't fully understand. So okay, so I'm going to just disable the comments so we can all focus a bit. So good luck. Hopefully we can get some setups. At least I'm up a little bit anyway, so it's a good start. But I hope you get some good trades today, and I'll get the comments on for the last 20 minutes at least. That way we can all focus. So have a great trading session, and we'll talk in a couple of hours. I'll keep chatting anyway, just in case some of you knows, because okay, superb. Okay, so good luck. Let's hope we get something here. So we got a channel up here. There's a bit of a break. It does look like it's pushing up. Unfortunately, it's just a first entry. So touched here, touched here, touched here. So that sort of confirms it. Although, yeah, I don't think that's too bad. But I think we've sort of, this definitely looks like it's bottoming. So let's have a look. Yeah, we're clearly flattening off there, so this looks like it's so if we can get a higher low here, maybe we're going to get a leg and a leg. So let's see how we get on. Yeah, I don't quite know how this thing works with the reloading. I know that reloading sort of reloads it, but I just it's actually a big issue really, but it's an issue that's not been talked about that much. Push up, leg, leg, maybe we get a higher low here for another leg. Yeah, it's something that's not really been talked about that much, so I would class that as a higher low. Let me see.
Order submitted.
See how that finishes.
Order submitted.
Okay, it's 1 tick. So let's have a look. I'm going to go for a 1.5 here, because we're getting close to these highs. I do think we're going to get another leg up here because of this. So, but I'm just going to be
order filled.
Okay, I did think about moving that to the 2 points then, because we got a leg and a higher low. I expect to make another leg, but okay, nice start. 2 trades really quickly, so hopefully someone else got that, but I expected that to go for more than 2 points, but as I'd already taken a trade, I just didn't want to push me luck. Okay, clearly went for 2 points. So I got 2 points there and 1.5 points. So it's not often you get 2 trades that quick. We got a leg up, we had a break, high low. I know it's close to these highs, but so many times when we get a break and we get a higher low and we've had a leg, we get that second leg. That's why I don't mind taking those, because I think they're okay. So I can't remember the last time I got 2 trades in this quick succession. So higher low, plus 1.5 points. Excellent. And that was a visual second entry short. Sorry. Okay. Let's move that out of the way. Visual second entry short. Plus 2 points. Excellent. Well, that was a good start after yesterday. Yeah, I should have gone for 2 points there, in all fairness. Leg up. I like that. So hopefully, I'd say probably a few of you got some of that as well. So that's a good start, actually. Great start to the day. Can't remember the last time I got 2 trades this quick. It's just a shame that ended up like that, really, because I'd have loved to have seen that stay a nice bar. But we've had this leg down, we've had a break at a new low, we have had a push up, and then we've dropped again. Now we did have some news somewhere around about here. So whether that had anything to do with the news, it doesn't look particularly big. That one was similar size, so perhaps the news didn't really have much of an impact, because it was at 130, which is there. So before that it was coming down anyway, so we'd had that leg, a couple of attempts to go higher, maybe in another leg, but then it continued down. So that's a lovely trade. I love taking those trades. Break, higher low, EMA's facing up, you expect a second leg. I wish I'd have held on a bit. That's the type of trade where I'm going to start holding on to if I can. Maybe just to get double points or something. Let's have a look. So you'd have got, yeah, maybe just to go for 4 points or something. Get out comfortably before the measured move. I still expect that measured move to work. Let's see if there's something larger there. Yeah, I'm good with that, I think. I like that. That's a nice trade in my opinion. I don't know what you guys think about that, but I think that's a really nice trade personally. And as I say, it's been a while since I've had 2 trades. Relatively clear trades. That was, I mean, obviously before I reloaded the historic, that was about as bearish as it gets. It was like that, and the body was hugging the underside. Okay, maybe another second entry long. Surely that'd be too good to be true, wouldn't it? Because touch, that's close enough. If that ends up bullish, that'd be another trade, wouldn't it? Another second entry long? Surely not.
Order submitted.
Surely that's too good to be true. It's not really congested. It's down a bit. We'll see what happens. But now, is that a break?
Order cancelled.
For now. There may be a little spike in channel. The reason I'm saying that is because they're touching there, but it's a little bit away there, so you probably could adjust that ever so slightly, maybe to there. Not sure about that one. No, I'm just going to leave that where it is. Okay, so I'm not going to take this first one, although I don't think it's that bad trade. To be honest with you, I didn't expect that break without getting to that measured move. So I don't think that's a bad trade at all, actually. But I tend to not like taking that when the first break. I like it when we have a leg and then another leg. So I've been caught out there, so I tend to wait for the higher low there. But it's just something that's saying just be a bit cautious there. It's probably because I still can't believe I've had 2 winning trades in a row. Something about this I don't like. So, good decision. Sometimes something just doesn't feel right. I'll be surprised if that's not stopped out. Bound to be, surely. It is a second entry long, though. And in all fairness, depending on what you think's going on here, I don't think it's a terrible trade. But I tend to avoid that first push out now. I like to have a leg and maybe something else. I'll be amazed if that doesn't push through. It's trying to, look. I don't know. I don't think it's a bad trade. It is a second entry long. We are getting something up here. But maybe it might hold. I suppose if there's a... I don't know if there's a lot of stops there or a lot of traders got in there. I don't know, actually. It's trying to knock it out. Maybe it will hold. But I don't know. It's just something about that I don't like the look of. There is 2 legs, although it's not the nicest looking legs. But if that holds, I'll be quite pleased, actually, because I'll be surprised if some of you guys aren't in that. I'm really surprised it didn't push through, actually. It really tried. It's not over yet. Maybe it will. 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. I'd hate to be in that trade now. There's nothing worse than it 1 tick away from your stop. Because if that does break down, I'll be surprised if it doesn't have a quick drop. Because I'd be surprised if there's not quite a few traders in there. It may hold. It may hold. I think if that finishes, he may start to go flat, so it may hold. This is the time where things like triple test start to come into play. 1, 2, maybe something else, and then you may get away with that. Depends how. So you've got 2 relatively bearish bars there. See, if that finishes on the nail, I'll be surprised if it doesn't. It's only got to go down a couple of ticks. It's really trying, isn't it? There we go. Quick bit of a jerk there. That dropped about a quick point. Because as I said, there'd have been a few stops there. Yeah. I'm surprised, actually. I thought by the way it was going sideways there, it was going to hold, but I don't know what it is. It is we've touched it. We've touched it. You may call that, you may not, but to me, we got a leg. We got a leg back. It looks like it's working into a nice channel. We've got a leg up, a couple of legs back here, another strong push up. We've not hit this measured move yet. I'm really surprised that didn't work, but I don't like it. There's something about I don't like it. I can't put my finger on it. There's just something about it I don't like. And when we have this first drop, usually now I wait for a higher low, because so many times before I've been trapped when we get that first push out. Because you don't know whether we're going to come a bit low, which we did, and then eventually push up. But I mean, it was clearly a second entry. You got 1 leg down, a second leg, although the second leg's a bit. But there's just something about the look of it that's just making me a bit nervous. So, as I've already taken 2 trades, I've been blessed this morning. That's a nice trade. That was another nice trade. Apart from the bar, I assure you, the bar looked really nice before I reloaded the historic data and ruined it. But that's the first time I've had 2 trades like that back to back for quite a while, actually, weeks, I think. So we've got a leg, maybe that's a leg and a leg, and maybe there's going to be a bigger picture. How far can we go up? We've still got quite a ways to go, so I think it's quite possible that we may end up having something like that. I was hoping it would end up about here, but there is a possibility that there could be something slightly big and brewing there. But so let's go with that. And if that's the case, or it could be that, and it could be that. That's possible. Let's leave it for a minute. Trouble is, sometimes, I noticed this a lot lately, markets are unpredictable and they don't go where you expect them to. I mean, we've got a nice strong move down here, and I took that short because it was nice. So we're clearly bouncing here, aren't we? So this is looking like an area where it's going to reverse. So we had a nice push up there, nice back, nice higher low. You expected another leg, and I expected to continue up, but then we had a little break, and I thought, okay, fair enough. Maybe we can adjust this slightly, but then it triggered, came down, and so it almost looks like it's working down. It's surprising sometimes why things just, but perhaps at the end of the day, perhaps that's all it is. Perhaps that's all it is. But when we touch there and there, I don't know. I'm going to leave that there just for now, I am. Because yeah, I mean, you could have started off with that, couldn't you? Just a little small bit. We're going to break at a new high, but then when we came down and made another higher low, you think, okay, we seem to be coming into a bit of a channel here. I'm surprised. I'm surprised it did that. That's what I mean. Sometimes a market can surprise you. Other times it's really predictable. I don't know how many times I go, okay, we've got another leg up there. That's where I expect it to get to, and it gets there 9 times out of 10 right on the nail. But lately, it turns in the oddest places, and it's just not as predictable. We all know when we have days where the market's really predictable, but then other times, perhaps it is just that. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put that there, and I'm just going to take out the colour, and then I'm going to pop that back in there because I want I like to look back sometimes and work out what happened. So let's remove that. It's just in the way. Okay, so we've gone from there, touch there, then we had a break, higher low. Usually when we get a break and a nice higher low like that, and it almost looks like there's a line beginning there, then I expect a second leg. And when it took off like that, you expect, okay, another couple of pushes back to here, and then another push up ready to that measured move. So I don't get it sometimes. Be interesting to see if Mac reloads his historic data or whether he just leaves it as it is. Trouble is, one's a trade you would definitely take, another one's a trade you probably wouldn't take. So makes you a little nervous, doesn't it? Which is the correct one? Was the correct one the bearish bar, or is the correct one the doji? Mind you, even another tick lower than this, it wouldn't look that bad, but nowhere near as good as it did when I had my bar. Okay, so we've got a channel working here. Touch. Nice. So that's confirmed it, and in all fairness, it's working nice. And we had that little bit of a drop. So I don't know, perhaps we're just coming down here, but I think now it's likely we're going to push a bit higher. I'm not sure whether there's anything larger moving there or not, but maybe later on in the day. Let's have a look. So we got a leg down there, two legs of correction, another leg down. So that's possible. That's possible. I'm taking it away because I'm not sure, but it looks like we could have a leg down, and then we've got one leg up with a break and another leg up, and then something like that. So I think that's a possibility, but it's a bit too early really to drop that in because we've had this overshoot. In a lot of cases, the overshoot might mean a push up, but yeah, maybe if we work down to here, push up to there, down again, maybe at some point. But you can see what I'm looking at, can't you? Leg down, a little bit of sideways, two legs of correction, and then another leg down, which it looks like it's starting, but let's see. This looks like it's sort of bottoming around here. There's also the possibility that we could just be doing that. That's something I've been sort of eyeing up. Touch, 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 if that comes down here. So perhaps that's why it didn't go any higher, because it just hit some resistance there. Oh, excuse me. I'm just going to get rid of that for now. I'm just going to pop a line across here because I'm not sure whether it is or not. Let's just leave it like that for now. Because that to me just looks like it's bottoming. Okay, so we've had a double bottom. There's a higher low there. So that might not be a terrible trade. We've had an overshoot. Well, obviously not now, but it's just getting a little bit unpredictable. Went down very well, was it? I don't know why that's gone like that, but it's a ball ache, isn't it? Okay, I'll do. I just want to make a point that because if someone jumps at the screen later and sees that, they're going to think I'm a lunatic for taking that short. Okay, strange. So we've had this overshoot and no hint of going back up. So I think it's probably likely we're going to come down and do this measured leg. Let's have a look at that. Touch, leg. Okay, this is possible. I think we're probably coming down for another leg here by the looks of things. So let's just do that like that, and then do that like that. So I'd say market's moving quite strong now. So that looks like, yeah, we've got something like there, and then we've got 2 legs of correction, and then another leg down. Leg. I don't think there's a bigger channel there. There is. Or is there? I'm not convinced now. Yeah, it's possible that there may be a bigger channel, but that's probably going to be more something later in the day. But leg down, sort of couple of, we got sort of 1 leg, 2 legs back up, and then another leg down. So it's starting to look a little bit more like I know what's going on now. So far, so good. So I thought that was an overshoot initially, but then when we had a couple of legs back up and it came down strongly, I'm quite okay thinking that there's probably not actually. Now, what I will say is the way this has come away from this here, if we break out a little bit here, then maybe there's something, a little more on the lines of that, just based on where it's finishing now. If we push over to here, so we'll just have to keep an eye on that. So it's either one. I'm quite happy with it there and there at the moment. But I'm just going to have to be careful. I'm not thinking about taking a short here at the moment because this has come away from this side. So whether it's not come away, it's just that's more the angle and there's a bigger picture. See what I mean? So it might be that. So I'll be careful taking a short here. So let's put that back like that for now. But I'll just need to be aware that maybe there is a bigger picture. So there's 2 things. It could either be losing momentum, which is why it's not come back here, and it might push up, or it might break because there's a slightly bigger channel. So I won't be looking to short here. In fact, I'm quite happy not taking any more trades in all fairness. So would I do trade? It'd have to be that obvious. Yeah, so the reason I took that, looks like there's a leg and a leg, leg back, high low, leg up, leg up. So I think that was okay, actually. I'd be surprised if a few don't take that. Yeah, I'm not looking to trade here. I've got a feeling it's going to push out a little bit now. It'll either push out and up, or it might come a bit wider and just indicate we've got a slightly bigger channel there. So keep an eye on that. Leg up. I'd like another leg up to here. And then I'll adjust that channel, because that's what I'm thinking might be happening. In fact, so well, let's just out of curiosity, let's do it anyway. See what it looks like. So put that there. Put that there. And that there. So usually we go from these top of these, excuse me, these first sort of swing, and it does there, and it touches perfectly. And funnily enough, so does this bit, touches there, touches there, touches there. So I think there's a bigger channel there, which is why I'm not looking to take a short. I'm not saying it's not going to work, because a lot of times it'll come back just even to the midline and then drop. But I just think there's a bigger channel here, and as we pushed above, it could trigger you and come up into this tier, personally, because I think there's a leg there, and I think there's going to be another leg, just from what I'm seeing. So I think we're going to come up to sort of this area here. See, it wasn't bearish anyway, but I thought it might come bearish and then trigger and trap some shorts there, thinking that the picture's here, but this is a bigger picture to me. So if we do get something here, perfectly second entry, that's a good sign. And then if we get a lower high, then I may take another trade. But yeah, for me, there's a bigger picture there. Touched, touched, touched. Perfect touch, perfect touch, perfect touch. That's set us up in my opinion. Okay, so failed second entry short. Not interested, because obviously for me at the moment the market is down. I mean, it may scalp a point if we're getting up to this area, but I'm not interested. So it does look like that's what's happening. We got a leg down, a little bit of sideways, two legs of correction, and another leg down, which would take us down to here. That's a theory. Okay, so triangle lines, triangle size. There is a failure there, which is triggered. So let's see what happens here. See if that comes down. I still think it's probably likely to push up more in this area, really, before it thinks about going short. Beautiful. Exactly what I wanted. So let's get rid of that. Now, leg up. A little bit of sideways, leg up. So let's see what happens here. Okay, so I can adjust that ever so slightly, just to there, but no more. Okay, so I would say that we are now ranging. So let's get rid of that. I thought if it does here and comes down, then I'm thinking channel, but at the moment I'm thinking range. I think it's just being aware of what's going on, isn't it? There is a possibility of that, but once we've pushed up, then I'm thinking range, especially as we've just sort of hit this area where no one's really interested in going any shorter, because obviously we got this. So I still think it's possible we may get another leg, but that's just theory, really. Okay, that's interesting. Let's put that back. That's interesting. So, there is a possibility, because I did mention I still you think it's possible there's going to be another leg. So this just might be a break and a lower high. Well, it's naff anyway, but I'm not interested in this, just in case. Sometimes it'll just tease you into going short and it'll push up, but lower high's naff anyway. Excuse me. But maybe there is a break. I'm going to push down. It's possible. Okay, so maybe we have got a bigger channel. Yeah, it's going to be something for later. Touch. Just too confusing at the moment. Okay, so second entry long. I'm not convinced I know what I'm doing at the moment, whether we are going to push up here. It could be a leg, pull back another leg, that's a possibility. It could be a break out of this channel. Could be a bunch of things at the moment. So while there's uncertainty, so that's a possibility. Leg and a leg, but the way that's pushing down. See how that finishes. Okay, so... That's a possibility. A leg, back to the main, a leg. It's kind of bounced off this. So that's possible. Okay, second entry long, sort of bounced here, so I'm not interested. It's possible it could trap that one. You could get trapped. We might be coming down to this or pushing out or what, I don't know at the moment. I'm not getting involved there. Excuse me, sorry. I went to the gym first time yesterday for flipping about 3 years. Did loads of weights and I'm aching. And I'm bollocksed. I slept like a log last night. It's the first time I've had a decent night's sleep, so obviously a bit of a workout at the gym. I didn't go mad, but I went mad enough to have sore arms. Interesting. Okay, so there's a failed second entry. There's a second entry long which is triggered, and there's a failed second entry long as well which hasn't triggered. So there could be a double trap. What's going on? I'm not sure really. There is a possibility we got a leg, a couple of legs back and another leg. It could be the channel and it's just a break. We're coming back. I'm going to cut the day short today. I think I might just do an hour and a half. In fact, I'm going to get the comments back on because I'm quite happy watching the market now and not getting involved. So I'm going to get the comments back on. See what you guys have done. Live chat and that. So I'm sat here yawning like a right idiot. So, okay, comments are back on. So I might not last that long. Okay, so that looks like it's pushing up anyway, so it probably is a leg and a leg. I just wasn't sure. There were some traps there. That one triggered, but the failed second entry short didn't. But if you look, they're all... EMA is completely flat. So if you want to speak, now's your time. So I'm just a bit unsure what's going on here, so excuse me, I'm sorry. Okay, leg down. Maybe it is coming down. Maybe. Hey, Keytree, how you doing, bud? How you getting on? Okay, this does look like it's coming down, but it could still be a trap. That one's triggered, so that one may get stopped out. Leg. Sam, how you doing, Sam? Everybody affected by the MFF. I'm not sure what you're talking about there, mate. By the MFF. Debacle? What's that? I don't know what that is, mate. The MFF debacle? Not sure what that is. Kev, very choppy, hard to read. Yeah, it is a bit, mate. 1 minute it looks like there's a second inch long and we've got another leg up. Trouble is, because we've touched here and here and here, it does look like there's going to be another leg down here, so I'll be amazed if that... let's get rid of this. I'll be amazed if that doesn't get stopped out. There is a second entry long. It's kind of close to the top of here. It's closed above it, so you think it may push up, but then... hey, how you doing, Sam? How you doing, Sam? Picked up another couple of valuations with your code yesterday. I always use yours, mate. I'm guessing lately you've been making quite a lot out of me. So if I'm paying your mortgage, mate, you can thank me later. Did you see my comments about leaving too much money in account after MFF got shut down? Who got shut down? No, I didn't. MFF. Who are they? My Forex prop firm, really? But I don't think futures were affected. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, I'm glad I put the comments back up now. Interesting. What I will say is, just out of curiosity, I have been, because once you start talking about stuff like that on the Facebook group, you get loads of pop-ups, and I see loads of them, so I just click them just to find out what people are charging, and some prop firms are still charging 100, 120, 150 pound for these evaluations, and then obviously with Apex charging $33 at the moment, and in some cases $16. Strange. So leg, maybe pushing back up. I'm not so sure. I think they sold CFDs. That was not illegal or something. Yeah. Does make you think though, doesn't it? When you look at people like that Vince who withdrew $800,000, if he withdrew $800,000 out of that account, how much must he have still had in there? It's a lot of money to stick to rely on someone else, isn't it? At least you guys have got a bit of a chance of getting your money back. I live in the UK. I'm a million bloody miles away. But it does. Okay. This looks to me like a leg. Two attempts to go lower and now push up. So I'd say there might be another leg. So it is looking more rangy. I thought for a minute maybe we're going to continue down, but money isn't protected in the Apex account. No, it's not, is it? I like to think with Apex, I haven't got enough of my own money anyway, so I think you either take what you can. I mean, at some point, if things go as well as I hope, I'd like to take some money out of Apex and just have a little chunk of change stuck in another account just in case anything happened with Apex, and at least then I could trade my own pot. You would lose it, or yeah, it's hard to say, isn't it? I'm not sure whether it's best just to get. The trouble is, I've done that before, mate, and that's where I've had a problem. I think it was the payment before last I had. Was it the second payment? I've had 4 payments this year. I think it was the second one. Yeah, it was, because the first one I got up to $7,500, and then I took a $2,000 withdrawal, but then I made a hash of it. I took another one for $2,000 a couple of months later. And as soon as it 2,600 or above it, I withdrew 2,000 straight away. But then I had like 500 drawdowns, so I just took a stupid gamble, trying to get a bit lucky just to give it a little bit of a boost, and it failed. So then I started again, and I got 2 accounts up, and I took $1,000 out of each. No, tell a lie. I got 2 accounts, and I took $2,000 out of each, so $4,000, and I managed to hold on to those 2 accounts, and then I got another 2 added, and that was, I think I'm getting a bit confused actually, but I have had 4 payments out of Apex this year, 3 $2,000s and a $4,000, but I've done that before when it gets to 2.6, and I just take my money. Trouble is, you're left vulnerable, so at some point. But what's made it difficult for me is giving up work. I've had to rely on the money, and that's the problem. Ideally, you want to try and forget about the money and just let the account build. If you can get that account up to maybe, I don't know, 8,000. I kind of like the 8,000, because if you take 2,000, you've still got 6 left, and enough then to give you a cushion then ready for the next month. But I got to say, planning it all and following it all is a lot harder than it seems. This is interesting. It is getting a bit choppy now, so which I don't mind actually, because I got those trades. That one, obviously, if you've just come in, that one was actually a really nice bearish bar. We got a visual second entry short. I took 2 points out of that. I took it. In fact, I took it on an engulfing. How does that work? That's different, but it did come down, 3 points. That one I liked as well. Leg up, leg back, high or low. I like that one. So I'm kind of not bothered, but it is getting a bit, it's looking a bit messy, isn't it? So maybe this is just a break, and I don't know. Market's just doing what it does. Just doesn't make a lot of sense sometimes. Apex has been going. Yeah, I think Apex are okay. I'll tell you what I would say with Apex. If Apex was struggling, they would be a lot stricter on some of these big payments. And I'm forever hearing them say we paid out X amount of million. And, we can all look on the site and see how many people have got payments. And I believe them, because I've been on there myself 4 times. So I do believe people are getting money. But there's definitely money in prop firms. There's definitely money to be made. Yeah, I trust Apex. As far as I'm concerned, there's no one out there I'd rather put my money in at the moment. But I would like to, once I can build up to some payments, maybe, I don't know, put, say, $20,000 or $30,000 away into a separate account, my own account. Have a bit of savings that way. If anything did happen, at least you could put that into your own account, and with $20,000, $30,000, you could certainly make yourself an half decent wage, couldn't you? But I've had most of my money back from Apex now, $10,000. I reckon I'm about probably $3,000 short. Oh, tell a lie. Tell a lie, I'm not. I've had it all back, because the affiliates as well. Get some money off the affiliates. So I've had all my money back off Apex. So, but I'm not at break even yet, because I lost about $4,000 of my own money, which is about $5,000, and I've probably got about $2,000 worth of computer equipment and $1,000 license. So I reckon about another $8,000, $7,000, and I'll be break even, something like that. So hopefully in the next 3 or 4 months. But somebody told me, once you've got all your money back and you break even, that's when you've made it as a trader, or you're 75% of the way there. If you manage to get all your money back, because we all know how much trading. I mean, I was speaking to a guy the other day that had put 60 grand into this. And I know when I first started, here's an interesting fact for you. When I started currency, you look this guy up, Andrew Lockwood, his name is, and he's been a trader for about 30 years. He worked in the London Stock Exchange. He worked in the London Stock Exchange in the 80s. He worked all over the world, Singapore, places like that, various banks. And in the early mid-2000s, he went he was working in Singapore, and he set up computer systems in Singapore where everyone, because it all went from paper trading to computerized, and he decided then to use his own money and trade from home. And he told me he lost $150,000 over the first 2 years because he had to learn to trade again. It's when you're seeing all this bar stuff, it's completely different than all the signs and the yelling and the bits of paper that you see on films like Trading Places. It all used to be done by that, so he had to learn to trade again. And he said he lost $150,000. He's clearly made it back now, but in fact, I heard he said something. With the price of gold went down or something, he said he lost $45,000 in whatever the price went down. I mean, he's been putting money into shares and investing for years, but he said when the price of gold dropped, I don't know when it was, but he lost about $45,000 in value. So it just goes to show how much he's got. But he doesn't brag. All he does is talk about risk management. Everything's risk management. So I'm just wondering whether there is something bigger working, but it's starting to look like it. I have messed around with this just to see if... Let's go from this way, it's a bit easier. That would work there actually. Yeah, so it's still a bit early really, but touch. It does look like it's working. Touch 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Maybe we're in this. There's one leg and there's another leg, so I think it's feasible. We're going to come down here. It's a bit too early, but if we get a touch here and we come down here eventually and back up, I'll get rid of it. But it is starting to. I'm starting to think that maybe. Was it here? It's there, I think. Starting to think this, and actually, really, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It fits perfect there, and this from here, including all this, would be in that top tier. So that's a possibility. But until we can get below here, and out of what seemed like it, mind you, you say it's a range. We've been up here really. Apart from with this, we've been up here once. We've bounced a few times, but we've only really been up here once. So to say it's a range is hard. Maybe just to say that there's obviously a bottom, but as we've pushed up, we're now continuing slowly to work down, which is telling me that maybe there is a bigger channel working down. There was one around here that put everything. He had 20,000 US dollars in shitcoin. US, yeah. I've heard stories. I did okay on Shiba Inu a year and a half ago. I bought £600 worth at, I think it was 00 something 800, and it went up by about 11 times. So it went up by about 1,000%. I sold it after it tripled because I didn't know much about cryptocurrency. So I think I bought it at 600 and I sold it at just under £2,000, but I didn't know jack shit about crypto. Sorry about that. But I did lose money on Solana. I bought Solana, I thought was cheap, $165. It's now about $19, but I sold that when it got under 100. And I have bought some back. I do have some Solana, not a lot, about I don't know, 12 or 15 Solana. But I think now's the time to start buying bits. But yeah, you do hear stories, people that hold on to things. I mean, if you'd have bought Bitcoin back in the day, back in 2012, and kept hold of it, you'd have made yourself a fortune. That guy made, what did he make, 400 million? The Indian guy that spent 60 million on that, the most expensive, what do you call them? The digital pictures, digital prints, NFTs. He bought the most expensive NFT. It was like a picture made out of a million pictures or whatever. He paid $60 million for that. He made a ton of money. He put 5,000 into Bitcoin in 2012 or 2013, something like that, 5,000, and just saw what was going on, believed in it. And he made did he make something like, I don't know, he made over $1 billion out of it or something. But you bought some XRP. I had XRP for a bit. And XRP pumped a while ago, didn't they, when they won that case with the SEC? But I've got some Solana. I've got some Saitama, which absolutely I lost a ton on. I put about £500 into that, and that went up to £2,000 at one point. But it's dropped massively now. It's worth probably 1/10 of what it was. But we'll have another bull run in the next 6 months, 12 months, whatever, 18 months, and I'll get my money back eventually. But H-bar, I'm buying regular bits of H-bar. I've got about 500 quid's worth of H-bar. I'm hearing good things about H-bar. And I've got some Cardano, a bit of Cardano, something else as well. I've got about 5 bits of different ones, but I just buy bits now and again when they have a bit of a dump, and try and forget about it. Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. Daughter's just come home from school. But yeah, don't know if many people know about cryptos, but we do have a bull run. We have sort of cycles. I don't know a massive amount, but I've been learning over the last couple of years. We have cycles where we have sort of like a bear cycle, which we've had, and then eventually we'll have a bull run. And I think they're up every few years or something. But I know things like Solana was $265 at one point. It's $19 now. So what's up with Max messaging you? I don't know, mate. I got funny with him last night and puts a shitty message back, but he's just, I don't know, he's just, well, first he messaged me, he's messaged me about 3 or 4 times. He messaged me about 4 or 5 months ago, and said he could help me, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, well, I said, I'm okay, I'll follow Mac, blah, 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 because I don't know who he is. You know, I'd rather take my advice from people at least I know a bit of. And that was it. He sort of left me alone. And then I had another message. Just randomly, I've had messages now and again. But he sent me a message, was it a couple of 3 days ago, saying that he's watched me streams. He feels like that he'd benefit me. And if I don't accept his help, then I don't deserve to. Just a bit weird. Like, you know, I remember sharing my wife and she went, what? So I messaged a couple of people last night. And they said, he's a bit of a scammer, so he's charged people. I don't know exactly much about him, but he put an arsey message on the comments yesterday saying, you're gambling, no one listened to Lance. He's just arsey out the blue. So I sent him a message saying, I put a message on one of his, what's it saying, this guy is pestering me. Apparently he's a bit of a scammer, just be aware, blah, 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 because I noticed a couple of people had commented on his videos and he said to him, if you need some help, let me know. So I said to that guy, I went, just be aware that, but I don't know, I'm just getting arsey messages for some reason. So I've had to stop the comments on the YouTube channel because he's just, I don't know, he's targeting me. I don't know anyway. There's always, we know there's lunatics out there, don't we? But I just don't know why. But apparently I was speaking to a few people on the Facebook group last night, and a few other people have had problems with him as well. One guy said his mate paid him $250, and someone else said they managed to get it back. I don't know what, like, but I'm just trying to have less to do with him than I can. But I did stick a really shitty message on his thing. I deleted it in the end because I thought, well, if I do that, he'll send something back and it'll just end up getting a bit silly. So, but I don't know what makes him tick. But whether he's just does it to try and get people to pay, I don't know. That's something to sell. Yeah, apparently he's got a Discord that he charges £250 a month for, but this message he sent me, it was just weird. He said, I took a photo of it. What was it? saying really strange stuff. Message I had yesterday saying Lance has a gambling problem and it's going to get worse. Shift into part-time trading, study, learn from it. I don't quite know what he's saying. Strange. But he sent the message was there's only 3 people he knows that can harness the power of price action: Mac, Daniel, and him. I don't know where he got harnessed the power of. But yeah, it's just, some people say a couple of things and you think straight away, he's a bit of a nut job. So he started putting comments. So I had to remove the comments from the YouTube channel. To be fair, a couple of guys who have streamed warned me in the past, said you will get trolls and nutters occasionally, but for the most, it's there's only 3 people I can think of in the last 8 months. Sam's one of them who's just pesters me and no, he don't. I'm only kidding. There's only 3 people I can think of who's just been odd, but I don't know what's going on here, folks. Let's forget that. We're clearly ranging now, aren't we? But yeah, you probably had them, Sam, aren't you? Just now and again, you'll just get some weird nut jobs. There was something about this in the Max. Yeah, somebody warned someone about him. I don't know. I think, didn't Mac mentioned it a couple of months ago about him. Just saying stuff. I can't remember what it was now, but I don't spend a lot of time in the forum. Perhaps I should, actually. But there was another Garnier as well. It is in the forum, but some people just say really negative stuff. I took a trade and it didn't work. And his comment was, if you think that's a good trade, you need more screen time. Well, yeah, that's why I'm here, learning. So some people, 98% of people just are nice, are fair. We all know how hard it is, and it's about, as far as I'm concerned, I've had messages from people saying they've had it really hard, they've blown accounts, and straight away I say, don't beat yourself up. It is hard. Keep coming back. Try this, try that. I'm positive, but some people just say negative stuff, and I don't get it. I don't get why they do it, because it doesn't do any good to anyone. You've got to try and give people a little bit of encouragement, confidence, say it is hard and blah, blah, blah. But I don't know. I know I'm waffling a bit now, but I just don't understand why be nasty with people. When the Panda guy, I don't watch the Panda guy much. I don't quite understand how he trades, but he lost about $2,500 once, didn't he? He had a week off, didn't he? He just had a bad hit. And I messaged him. I watched some of your videos a year ago, and you were having green days most of the day, so you can trade. You've just slipped into some bad habits. I wish you all the best. I just sent a nice message to him. But I don't get why some people just seem to just want to pick and have a go. I don't know whether they're just frustrated because they're struggling themselves or not. I don't know. But no, you don't need to be nasty with people. It's a tough enough business as this. And when people are having an hard time, we all know how it feels. You've got to just be a bit supportive. Sometimes people just need a bit of encouragement, a pat on the back. But yeah, there was something on. Now and again, his name will pop up. Somebody mentioned it. I can't remember. Somebody mentioned his name a week ago. Money Max, I think they call him. You keep getting people imitating Black Bay trading, messaging and join the Discord. Really? Strange. Yeah, some people are odd. Perhaps it's just because we're from the UK and we're not used to it a bit. But no, I don't believe in being nasty with people. There's no need for it. There's enough nasty shit out there in the world, isn't there? Why? Why just for the sake of it? Right, what do we do here, folks? Is this a triple test? We got a leg break. I hate taking these types of trades. I don't know about you, Sam, but we got 1, 2. There's clearly a triple test along there, but I hate picking tops and bottoms. I don't have much luck with them. I picked a bottom yesterday and it just shafted me, so I'm staying away from them now. Whenever I stay away from them, they absolutely drop like a stone, but as soon as I get involved, they trigger. But I've not done a lot of this type of trades. I've stayed away from them, and that's probably why I struggle with them, because need their hard drives checked. Yeah, they do, mate. Yeah, they certainly do. Yeah, I mentioned earlier, I went to the gym yesterday for the first time in about 3 years, and my arms are getting really sore. My triceps are dead tender, just a little poke and they're getting sore, and I'm struggling to get my hand close to my face. So I'd probably, I thought I actually went a bit easy. Okay, a little bit of a push there, so maybe there's probably some stops along there somewhere. This market's a bit weird today, isn't it? This, I'd say, is probably now working in a bigger channel. Yeah, I haven't been to the gym for about... I did karate for years, for about 17 years, and I ended up tearing cartilage in my left knee and having a piece of cartilage. So just now and again, it just gets a bit sore, but because I'm sat on my arse now trading most of the time, I'm not getting enough exercise, so I thought I'd go to the gym. And I should have gone a bit easier. Scaling down to one contract on the back of that. You had a bad day. Yeah, I did as well, mate. It's my own stupid fault. Isn't it weird? Sometimes you seem to be really focused and incredibly strict with your trading, and other times you seem to take the most stupid random trades. So what I've done now, I've just got a little trading book which my wife bought me at Christmas. And I'm keeping a diary now, and I've just put this morning, been revenge trading a lot late and making a real mess. I need to now grow up and act like I want this for a living. I will take a trade that I believe to be a valid setup, even if it's slightly on the aggressive side. This is the day of a new start. I can have all I want in trading. I'll prove the data's wrong. Think about what you're doing for 10 minutes before every session, and always have the same focus to take the best trades. So I'm keeping a bit of a diary, and I'm just writing down what's going on in my head a bit sometimes, because sometimes I'm the most focused of people. And I'll talk about these setups, and if they're not perfect, I'll leave them. But then another day, for some reason, I just take something stupid. So I'm just going to try and take one day at a time, and really just try to focus and just have the same goal every day. Just, there's no rush. Trouble is, we all hear these stories about how much money people are making, and sometimes it blinds you, doesn't it? And you just try and get there and rush too quick. I think it's quite common. I think most people do it. You know, you hear all these wonder stories about he withdrew this, and you know, we've all heard the story that Vince withdrew $800,000. I mean, that's dreamland money, isn't it? But you know, it's possible. But sometimes you get blinded by those figures. And you've spent the money before you've even earned it. Christ, I look at flipping new cars and boats and all sorts of weird shit. I do, you know, but it drives me a little bit. But I do need to start growing up a bit and making some better decisions, because, you know, sometimes when you're trading on a demo, you think this is almost like a sim. Not a demo, sorry, an evaluation. It's like a sim. It's not real money. I can take a few silly trades or a few risky trades, or I'll try this. At some point, you've got to say, look, this just isn't working. I've got to start taking things seriously. So I believe now I've got enough skills to be able to build an account. I've done it 4 times. But my trouble is, because I've been giving up work and living on the profits, it's not enough. And when I'm getting to that stage in a new account where I'm getting the accounts close to that to 2,600, I can feel the pressure. So the simpler answer is to go back to work 3 days, which is, I'm not this weekend. It's my daughter's birthday, so the weather's nice in the UK, so we're just making the most of it. But I will from next Friday. So I'll only be trading Monday to Thursday from next week. I can get my income back in, and I can just focus on building accounts, because you've got to take it seriously and think about a business. And what do you do in a business? You get your funds in order, don't you? So But it is a tough business. I think every day you've got to sit down and have that little bit of 5-10 minute head clear time, isn't it? Think about what you're going to do. Even though you're doing the same thing every day, but you've just got to go over it in your head. Think long term. I even wrote down all the benefits that trading can give me. More time with a family, better money, better sort of job security in a way. You're never going to worry about getting sacked, losing your job. Even with things like COVID, it didn't make a difference to traders. Traders made a stack of money. Markets are crashing. All you got to do is short and you make your money. But there's lots of benefits to trading. So I'm trying to write that down every day, even though I'm writing the same thing. And just a quick plan in my head what I want to do. And hopefully that'll help. Combination of being back at work so I don't have to think about the money, that I can concentrate on building a nice cushion. What work do I do? Weekend builder? No, I have been a builder in the past, but on and off for years, I drove an oil tanker. I work in similar sort of in the oil business, similar to what Sam does. But the good thing about HGV drivers in the UK, it's good money and there's loads of work. Well, I get £19 an hour, which is about $25 an hour, something like that. So I'll just do 3 12-hour shifts. So it's £19 an hour on Friday. I think it's 21 on Saturday, 22 on. So I can earn, 700 odd pound or something like that, $900 just by working the 3 days, and with my wife's money and stuff, we'll be right there. And it's pretty straightforward driving HGVs, mainly just driving giant fridges around. Pull up on a bay, they unload you, and then away you go. But I was a chef when I first left school. That's what I did. I went to college 2 years and became a chef, and then I did 1 or 2 other jobs throughout the time. But I was a bricklayer for a few years. I did it when I was sort of young. And then got out of it for a while because work was hard, but that's not too bad at the moment. I think the going rate at the moment is about 200, 220, 250 a day. But because I've been out of building for so long, it's just hard getting back. It's getting tough at the moment. I know house prices I think we've had a 4%, 4.5% drop in the value of houses in the last month. So they're not building as many houses at the moment, so that's going to affect the construction industry. So it's probably not the best time to get back into it now. But the trouble is, working as a bricklayer, you work in days, whereas a driver, HGV driver, I work whenever I like. I just pick up work again, no problem. Agency work, HGVs, I get pestered by them sometimes. They don't even interview you nowadays. You just fill a form in online and they send you places. So there's that much work with HGVs. They're crying out for HGV drivers. But the money's good. You're in a nice, comfortable, all those modern day wagons now, they've all got rear wheel steering. They've all got air conditioning, all got fridges built in. Most of them have got microwaves in. They're all nice and comfortable. They're all sort of dead modern. But I could pick up the phone today and work tomorrow if I wanted to with HGV. So it's just a license I got. I had a business a few years ago and I had a friend of mine who just come out the Royal Marines, and I was looking for some work at the time, and he mentioned it, so I did my license. And it's always handy if you ever out of work, or you ever want a bit of work. The money's good. 12 hours in a truck, it's nothing. Goes that quick. Okay, so 1, 2. We made sort of 3 attempts to push out there. I did consider going short there, but I'm not. I just, how I feel about picking tops and bottoms. I'm just not that good at them. It's not one of my strong points for some reason. I've just not done a lot of them, but 3 attempts to go higher in that bearish bar. I thought it was good enough to get back to the main. It worked, but it's just this little bit of congestion. You don't know whether it's going to trigger yet and then go up a bit higher. But yeah, I don't know if anybody else had that. That was an absolutely beautiful bearish bar before I reloaded the historic data. So I don't quite understand how this historic data works. Is it important to do it or not? I might drop that question over to Mac. I might send him 2 pictures of the charts and just find out what he does. I don't think I've ever heard Mac talk about his historic data. In all fairness, though, 2 ticks, and we're at the lows, aren't we? So it's not, as itself, yeah, it's a doji, but it's a bearish-ish one, isn't it? If that's a word, but... But no, I drove an oil tanker for a while. Trouble is with that, I used to go from where I live, Shrewsbury, up to Chester area, up to Stanlow Oil Refinery. I did that twice a day. Went up there, came back, went up there, came back, and I did that for 11 years, and it bored the shit out of me. But the money's good. Anybody else take that short, did they? $2.25 points. It was tempting. Yeah, we all have bad days, Sam. You took it, did you? Yeah, I had a bad day yesterday. To the EMA, yeah. If I was going to take it, it'd be to the EMA, but you guys know how I feel about tops. The trouble is, every time I do pick a top or bottom and I lose it, it just puts me right off. But in all fairness, we're clearly working there and relatively accurate. We don't often do that. It's pretty accurate, the tops and bottoms today, actually, but we look back a couple of days, every time it hits the top, it's doing it on a different place. But I looked at it and I ummed and ahed about it. Now, if I wouldn't have taken a trade today, I may have taken it, but I'm up 2 trades, so I kind of want to stick like that. So, there is a failure there. Try go once, right? There's a failure there. Now, if we're in this range, every time we come up these tops, we come down the bottom. So I don't think that's a terrible trade, but I'm not taking it. It's not something that's jumping out at me, but I think it'll more likely work if it finishes bearish. They're not really in my repertoire. No, I just don't seem to have much luck with them. I don't know whether I suppose we all have our strengths and weaknesses, don't we? Some people like certain trades, like triple tests. I've always just stayed away from them. I've always just sort of stuck with the second entries, the failures, and the high lows, lower lows, that higher lows and lower highs, that type of thing. And I've always stayed away from triple tests and picking tops and bottoms. Tops and bottoms I've had a dabble with, but I don't tend to be very good at them. But triple tests, what I'm trying to do is whenever I see what I think a triple test, and I'm trying to earmark it in my head, and I'm watching Mac when he mentions them. I'm starting to get a bit of a visual picture in my head of what I'm looking at. And eventually, what I may do is, if I start taking them, is maybe just drop down to 1 contract. You're a fan of triple test. Usually get trapped. Yes. Obviously, you've got to rely on momentum. So with this type of thing, we've got a leg down. I mean, it's only I don't know whether you call that a triple test, maybe 1, 2, 3, and then down. But sometimes it's quite clear we've got to push down, and it'll go 1, 2, and 3, and a nice big bearish bar, 1 leg, and then we usually have that other leg. So I am looking if anybody else on the Facebook group takes them, I'm trying to get a mental picture in my head. I might actually, wherever I see Mac Marker triple test or I see anyone in the Facebook group, I might print it out, shrink it, and just, keep looking at them and trying to get a bit of a visual picture what they look like. But then when you see them and they work, they look relatively straightforward, but it's just not one of my strengths, so it's something I need to just focus a little bit more and work on, even if I just put a little mark where I think they're right and when I start to get them. But there's so many different elements to trading. It's way more complicated than I ever thought it was. I got to say, the first time I ever watched Mac's videos and he said it takes as long to be a good trader that it does a doctor. I thought, how the hell can that happen? You're thinking a doctor? No, surely not. They go to university for about 5 years, don't they, or whatever. But I kind of get it. It's a bit of an art, isn't it? And Max says it's like language. It sort of is. At the moment, I feel like I could maybe, get a rough conversation, but I'm way off being fluent. But yeah, it kind of is. It's trying to get to the stage that you're fluent. We can all pick up a few phrases in another language, but I do feel like I'm, I think for me it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So I am making progress, but it is slow. But sometimes I think the best progress you get are obviously from your mistakes. So sometimes I don't get trapped as much as I did because I spent a lot of time getting trapped, and you do learn. 8 hours of bar by bars, yeah. In fact, that Black Bay guy, that guy put some hours in. I got to say, I got to give him credit. He trades for about 6 hours every day. So, as far as I'm concerned, if someone can sit at a chart for 6 hours, 7 hours a day, they got my respect. I can't do it. I probably do 4 hours. I may usually do about another 20 minutes in the evening of just looking at everyone else's. I always look at Max. I look at the other guys in the Facebook groups and compare them to mine. I usually look at the Penguin guy and Thomas Wade's as well. What I consider to be pretty good traders, and Sam's as well, especially Sam's. But you don't trade much, you don't stream much, do you now? But no, I just look at anybody I think that are okay, just to compare mine to them, just to see what they were looking at. What did I miss? Did I see something they didn't? And it's just tried to build up a bigger overall picture. Okay, that's interesting. There's a small break there and a new low. There's a higher low. There's probably a little trap there. Trouble is, I don't know whether we're going to touch this and come down. That might be a short trap. Now that is a second entry short. We've got a leg down, 1 leg up, 2 legs up, second entry short. That'd be interesting if that comes down and traps there. So we've got a channel down with a break. Technically, there's a small break there with a new low. So that might be a higher low, and it may be retesting this. Or there's a bigger channel, which is also possible. Yeah, see, that's possible. So could be double trap there. So if you've got a channel down here, people may be looking to go short there. It's triggered yet, not stopped you out yet, but then people might be going long on the higher low, so there could be a couple of traps here, but I think it's more likely to take that short out. There we go, it has. So I'd say this is maybe, if we can get above here, maybe a higher low or something, but that looks like a leg. I expect another leg up here. Trouble is, we've been working along here and we've broken out, so this might be just a retest, but I have an inkling that it might be starting to work up. So there's our first entry. If we can get a bearish bar here and then a higher low to trap second entry shorts there, that might not be a bad long trade. So we've come down here. Yeah, see, at some point it's going to break out. But no, I admire anybody who puts lots of hours in. It takes time, yeah. That's probably not a terrible trade there, but really it's a bit early to trade this channel because it's still quite fresh, isn't it? we've only really sort of touched it once and then again here, so that's what I mean. If we can get a bearish bar here, then maybe a higher low to trap the shorts. But this is crunch time, or do we push up or do we come back in? We may see, we could probably lift this up a little bit to there, or to there actually, so we touched here. So that might just be a... If we can get a higher low here, I may take that, because that's a fairly... There's a second entry short there. If that triggers, I might go long there. Just going to put that back to where it was, because I like how it's worked there. I like how it's worked there. But I want that to trigger, really, before I go long. I don't think it's going to. So I think we've got a leg up, and I'd say we're probably going to have another leg up now. Shame that didn't trigger, actually, because I would have taken that. So, that's possible. With the highs, yeah, that's why I'm a bit... I was hoping that was going to trigger, because we've broken out, we've come back in, and we've bounced a few times here. So for me, I think it's likely we're going to now push up. And I was hoping we'd trigger that short, because that will be a second entry short, and a failed second entry short. So we trap them in and push up it. But yeah, there is always the possibility that this top may need adjusting. It needs to get up here, really, doesn't it, before it starts to think about we're out of the range now. But it's going a bit sideways and it's a little bit going slow, so that usually means I think it's likely we've got a leg up, a little bit of sideways. I expect it to come up to here for sure. If we can get above here, then we might have a shot at getting a bit higher. But it does look like it's working. But unfortunately, without triggering that bar there. That's the trouble sometimes when it goes a bit slow. Sometimes it'll just drop quickly or push up quickly. Sometimes it's almost like it teases you into taking trades, and all of a sudden, wham, down it comes and that. But if we can get above here, then I think we'll be okay. If we can get a nice couple of good strong bars, then I think there'll be another push up. But it is just a bit early at the moment. Okay, that's looking positive. If that finishes strong, then I think then we're going to push up a bit. Which is why I was hoping it would trigger that short, second entry short, in which case I'd have taken the high low. But so yeah, we've had this little channel, we've had a little break out of it, whether it's here or here, and then a new low, and then a higher low. See, if you know what you're doing, I suppose that would be the a place to maybe take a trade. I don't think it's a bad one, actually. Maybe some of you see this bigger channel working before me, so in which case that wouldn't have been a bad trade. It clearly made points. And the fact that we've had a breakout and we've only come back to here and we've bounced quite a few points, it does look like it's an area where now it's struggling to get past. Okay, now maybe we are pushing out. And so far so good. It's slow, but it's working in there, isn't it? So anything from Mac yet? Let's have a look. Yes. Happy days. That's what I mean. Sometimes it will drag a load of longs in and then up, it will just drop. That's why I've sort of neglected to get in there until it pushes strong above here. Interesting. Yeah, see, Mac's not got this as a range. He's got that channel. Yeah, he's got that bigger channel I've got. So the smaller one. I'm glad he's got that one because I think that was a good trade. So he's got that channel. He's got that channel. Yeah, so he's got a doji the same as that. So be interested to find out whether he does. I've never heard him say whether he loads his historic. He's got that. I can see that anyway. I never added it because we were out, like, but he's got that. You can clearly see there's some congestion. He's got that channel. He's got that channel, and his finish is about here. And there was the news there. Maybe that bar was it, but it wasn't much bigger than that, so you wouldn't necessarily know there was any type of news there. Okay, so yeah, so we did have that channel. I like that anyway, in all fairness. I like 3 nice touches there. And when you got 3 there, and that as well for me, and that, it's a no-brainer. Then we got the break and eventually the new low. Unfortunately, there was no real entry there to come low because it was just a bit bouncy, wasn't it, really? One of a better. Oh, I really like that. I like that trade. I'm not taking it, though. I like that trade. It is a failure. Trigonometry, it is a failure. I like that. I'm not taking it, though. Because, I mean, we've touched here. Yeah, I can see there's a possibility of that. This top, which is why I'm not taking it. That's what I mean. I'm not interested in going along until we can comfortably break above this lot. At the moment, you can clearly see we've struggled there. So but I like the bar. It's kind of nice. I like where it is. Sat here, touch, fitting really nice. But I'm just not a fan of this. We got a leg up break. If once we can get above here, then I'm quite confident that we're going to get up, well, at least in part, closer to here. But yeah, you've just got to understand this. You probably got your 2 points now anyway. There's 0.75. It breaks above this. It might have a little pop anyway. Okay, yeah, it clearly made 2 points. So I liked it. Leg up there, we got a break. And I know it's only like a first entry, but it is. Tries to go low once. It is, if you look. It is a failure. And you see this touch here, the second entry short there, which is triggered and eventually worked up to take that stop out there. And there's probably maybe some more there thinking, because if you're trading that as a range and you take that, you might hold on to that. Especially it bounces here, you may think perhaps it's coming up just to get close and then they're going to drop again, and it didn't. But I don't even think it's taken out stops there, because I think unlike us, a lot of people have stops a little bit higher, so I would expect it, if it gets a bit higher, then to have a quick push for some stops. But so many times I think that first tick is going to take out stops, but it's only really us who have the 1 tick above the signal bar. I know a lot of people have like a point or 2 points. But like I say, sometimes you'll get these little teasers together and all of a sudden, wham, down it'll come and take out 3 loads of long stops. think we can get up here. We may have a little quick push because there's probably going to be some stops maybe a bit above this. But it is struggling. There's going to be some shorts there. Sorry, some longs there. I'd say probably there as well. So sometimes it'll do this and you think, yeah, go on, another tick, and all of a sudden, boom, down it'll drop. Take out that stop, take out that stop. So we've got a leg up. We could have one leg of correction, another leg of correction, then it puts it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on at the moment. It looks like it's pushing up, but it is struggling. Sometimes it'll just barge through quickly and off it'll go. Other times it'll just drop. So I'm kind of glad. You'd have got your 2 points anyway. You'd have been out at the highs if you'd have took that anyway, really. But we got a leg up. It does look like it's trying, but sometimes it'll try until it doesn't. Excuse me. There we go. Now what's going on? Let's see if it takes that stop out. I'm binge watching The Blacklist again, I am. I'm on season 6 again at the moment. I've only seen up to... I've not seen 7. I've just seen where Liz gets killed. So I'm binge watching that in my downtime at the moment. Okay, so one leg down, 2 legs down. That might be the one that pushes up, and it's triggered that bearish bar. So we've got a push up, 1 leg down, 2 legs down. If that finishes bullish, I think that might be that push up we need to get above this. See how that finishes. I like where it is. It does look like visually 2 legs, 1 leg, 2 legs, and then up. Sometimes to get through this, you've got to get a little bit of a run up. And back here, you'll encourage a lot more people. You're going to go long here. You're not going to go long up here, are you? So that's looking quite... If that finishes quite bullish, then it might have that little spurt it needs. There's visually 2 legs. Excuse me, sorry. My gym session's tired me out. It's a little bit congested along there as well. So if we can get above here, then I think we're home free then. There will be some stop losses, probably a little bit higher than this. Because there's 3 touches there for that range, so there's probably going to be people holding there thinking they're going to get down the bottom, and when it has a little pullback, you may be thinking, okay, pull back and then drop again, but it hasn't. It's continued up, so it's getting close to some stops. So depending on where you put your stop, above this one or whatever, you're making me yawn. Sorry, mate. I went to the gym yesterday afternoon for the first time in 3 years, and I'm buggered. I slept like a log. You know when you're really tired like that and you go out like a light and you wake up with your hair all over the place and creases all over your face. First time for 3 years, my arms are starting to get a little bit sore. My shoulders are a little bit sore, so I'm probably going to need a week off before I get back. I'm going to have today off. I might get back tomorrow, but yeah, yawning's quite infectious, isn't it? You go at 6 a.m. Oh, good on you, mate. I admire the people who can do that. I can't. In fact, I might start doing it, actually. But I know the gym I go to, it's a mile and a half from here. It's 3-4 minutes. And it's open 24 hours, so it's quite ideal. And it's on a big sort of industrial estate. There's big supermarkets there and Currys and McDonald's and coffee shops and all sorts of stuff, so it's quite handy. Okay, so it's got another tick higher, and it's still not had a push. See, there's going to be some longs in there again, so there's... Did that trigger or not? It didn't, did it? Fact 1, 2, 3. That may be. You may call that a triple test. I don't know. Maybe it's a double test. Let's have a look. 1, 2. That's probably a double test, I'd say. If we get another bounce, that might be leg up, sideways leg up. That might be not a bad trade to take. Let's see if it does bounce off here again. So there's our first leg. Say, I don't know, say there. And there's our second leg. So 1, 2. That's a triple test. Now let's see if that, if it drops, forget it. Because there's going to be some stops there, surely, and there. Let's see what happens. Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. I know what you mean. I like doing it, but sometimes when you've got like 10 different people saying, I'm looking for long, I'm looking for short, I think this channel's like that, I think this channel, and it confuses you a bit. In fact, I might just keep the comments on and I'll have a little glance from time to time, but sometimes it just gets confusing. I think perhaps what we should do is have like a sort of a friendly rule that we don't talk about trades when we're in trades, maybe after. You know what I mean? Because if it gets confusing for me, it must get confusing for you guys. So see how this finishes. If this finishes bullish there, that's a triple test. So that might not be a bad trade to go long. I'm not, because see, some people might say this is a triple test if it works. Some people might say it's congested. Okay, that's the end of that. But yeah, I like having a talk sometime. I find it, if I talk about how I'm feeling and what I'm going through with trading, it makes me feel better. And if you hear me talking about it and you realise it's not just you, perhaps it makes you feel better as well. Interesting. Okay. Sometimes you'll get a triple test with a NAF bar, but it'll still push up. Yeah, I finished quick yesterday. I picked a bottom straight away, and as soon as I picked a bottom, I regretted it. I haven't regretted a trade, so that's my plan really, to try and take a trade that I don't regret. That at the time it was bearish. There's no regrets there because we got a break in a leg. It's a visual second entry short. Granted, the bar was naff, but before I was swindled into changing me historic data, it looked nice. And that was, well, we got a leg up there, leg back, high low. I like that. Mac will mark that for sure. So I've done 2 trades that I'm not regrets. That's the key, I think. Just try to take trades that you don't think you're going to regret. Now, I've got no issues with taking slightly more aggressive trades if that's the case, as long as you believe it to be a good setup. Okay, so that did seem to have a spurt, didn't it? Let's see what happens. In fact, I could probably lower that to there. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Maybe that's the triple test. I still don't like it. I like those ones that drop down here and then immediately reverse and sit bullish. They're the ones that interest me. But this is just a bit confusing. I'm not even sure if that is a channel or not. It's probably best to leave it alone for now. Yeah, it could do bloody anything, this, couldn't it, really? 11 PM is my time, nice and quiet in the gym. Yeah, I was thinking about nights, because the trouble is, if you go after sort of work time around about the sort of 6 till 8 o'clock, that's generally when it gets at its busiest. It is busy, but yeah, I kind of like the evening. I might start doing that myself in the evenings. And the good thing about that is if you have a nice workout, you know, maybe an hour or so before you go to bed, it might help you sleep. It certainly put me to sleep last night. I was out like a light. That's the deepest sleep I've had for, you know, when you wake up, you literally, and you got creases all over your face and your hair's a mess, and you can't remember even getting into bed. I had a night like that. So that gym session, yeah, definitely helped me. I did sort of all over. I did some sort of bit of everything really. Shoulders, back, legs. The only thing I didn't do is abs. That's the first time I've lifted any weights really. But yeah, I did think about maybe doing some evenings when you're sort of bored. Maybe a little bit of excess energy you need to get rid of. What is going to go on here then? There is a possibility that that may come down to here and yeah, so it may slip through this down to here. It's a bit hard to... It's not a very predictable day today, is it? Some days it is quite predictable, but today is... When we had this push down and this sort of one leg, two leg, and when we had this, I thought, okay, so there's a leg and there's another leg, but market had other ideas. That Bart's another guy I talked to as well. He's a nice guy. When I've had a bad day, he's given me a nice message as well. I like that. I think we stick together, us streamers. Bart Fly, I think his name's Bart Fly. I believe he's from Europe somewhere. He's a really nice guy, actually. He messaged me the other day. So he's another guy. I have a scan of his chart as well in the evening, find out what he's got up to. So I don't think he does pats. I think he does something different, but he seems to be pretty good at what he does. So he's another nice guy. And Wilson as well. He's a lovely bloke, Wilson is. When I lost my accounts, he sent me one of the nicest messages, I've got to say. Some people can really put down words on a piece of paper and really make them come over nice. I can't, but he does. But he's a nice guy. He's going through it. He's had his struggles as well, like we all have. But I think really it's what you do when you go from these tough times that define you. I think if you can get through them and battle through them, it takes me, I'd say, around about 3 days of being moping around and being miserable, where it keeps playing through my head, but then it starts to go. It's drifted away a bit now, in all fairness, but there's nothing worse than just you wake up in the morning and you realise what happened. Oh, God. I'd had those 4 accounts for between 6 and 9 weeks as well, so they were just working wonderful. And I did something stupid one day. It got the better of me. Zach Fielder from the Trading Network, he just posted a video about winning mindsets. Interesting. I'll take a photo of that. Excellent. I'll have a look at that. Thanks, Kev. He does trade. He doesn't trade. That's okay. It's just, sometimes it's just nice to just find out what other people do. If anybody's good at something, then I'm interested in looking them up. Especially anything to do with what's it? I've been watching a bit of that. What's it? A few people have mentioned that guy to me, but he's a bit too relaxed for me. What's his name? He's an older guy. He talks really slowly, and he's too calm for me. What's his name? I forget his name. He's quite an oldish. Well, I say oldish. He's about 60, maybe early 60s. He's like I think he does courses and stuff, but he's a bit too relaxed for me. I'm quite hyper, and when people talk that slow and quiet, sometimes it puts me to sleep. I've been trying to watch a bit of him. Somebody suggested, a couple of people have suggested him now, so I thought I'd better look him up. I forget his name now. It'll come to me. He's a sort of a trader psychologist. Greyish hair, glasses, I think. Okay, so that's clearly teasing you into going short, isn't it? But I'm just not getting involved because we may get a little failed breakout. No, not Al Brooks. What's his bloody name? Let me have a look. Oh, he's like a trading psychologist. You always see him sat in a nice, comfortable chair, sort of grey area. I forget his bloody name now. It'll come to me. He's like a trader psychologist. It's bad, isn't it, when you can't find nothing? A few people have mentioned him. Is it Randy Howell or Randy Howell, something like that? Randy Howell, yeah. Randy Howell. Where is he? That's him, yeah. Yeah, that's him there. The missing piece that gives you emotional control under pressure. That's the guy. It's just a bit too relaxed for me. Let's have a look. Let's put
risk
the sound
management.
on.
Risk reward.
He's supposed to be
Yeah,
good.
something that's
I just
far
like someone a little
They're
bit
not
more
emotionally charged words. They're cerebral.
Yeah, a couple of people
They're
have mentioned.
thinking.
Someone mentioned him, and
Exactly
I forgot
what
about
you
it.
would
But when
want
someone else mentioned
if
him, I
you were
thought,
an
okay, so I might have a
actuary.
look.
Now, but then let's take a look at this.
He's like
Listen
your
to the
favourite
word
granddad, isn't he?
Threat.
But have a look at him. See if
Completely
anything that
different
helps.
connotation, doesn't all of a sudden.
Randy Howell, his name is. Yeah, he's got 51, nearly 52,000 subscribers. So, excuse me, he's got some interest, put it that way. I'll tell you the guy I like watching. Aquaholic. He looks round boats. He does these. Yeah, there's one there. I dream about these things. I know it's sad, but there you go. He does like tours around these big boats, like 34 million euro. But some of the boats he just goes around are just incredible, really. That's the guy there. British guy. He just goes all over the world and just walks around, shows you around some of these massive, big super yachts. I've got to say, they're amazing, some of them, I've got to say. Okay, so if you'd have taken that short, triggered you, is this like a failed breakout, I suppose so. Yeah, it's just a bit choppy, isn't it? I'm not sure whether it's working in this bit there. It is possible. But yeah, if it had gone short there, try go one, try twice, failure, second entry short off here, triggered you. It's going to stop you out. What would you got? Okay, so you'd have got, maybe not, because it's off the bottom. You'd have got a point out of that. No more. Yeah, you'd have got a point out of it at a push, but then you'd have stopped you out. In fact, folks, I might knock it on the head there. I might have an early day. I might go and do a spot of fishing tonight. Go and sit near a nice lake. Weather's beautiful out here in the UK at the moment. It's due to change next week. Next week it's going to be cold and pissing down, so I want to make the most of the nice weather. We got a party this weekend. Well, barbecue, family barbecue is my daughter's birthday. So we got a family barbecue this weekend where I'll be drinking some copious amounts of scotch. And then the weather goes naff then from Monday onwards. So I'm going to knock it on the head today, folks. So we've done just over 2 hours. 2 trades. First time I've got 2 trades really quickly for might even be a couple of months. I like that one. Leg up, back, touch here. That one sort of confirming the EMA. High, low. Nice. Clearly went up there. And that one, I like that one at the time. We had that big strong leg down. Then we had one leg up a break. A couple of pushes up to a new high, and that was a really nice bearish bar before. Well, when I took the trade, it was. And then obviously a couple of people had it where they took the trade, same bar as me, and then a couple had it where they reloaded the historic, and then it turned out naff. But I've taken screenshots of that, and I'm going to post that as a topic later on the Facebook group just to find out what people have got to say about, this reloading it, the difference between, before and after. So there you go. So I appreciate all your comments. It's been a pretty standard day today. Nice day for me. Got a couple of trays. I'm nicely up. Makes a change when it all goes nice and to plan. So have a great rest of the day. If you keep on trading, best of luck. I hope you get a setup. Failing that, it's Friday tomorrow, another week gone. And we're well and truly into September. So I appreciate all your comments, guys. Nice standard day. You take it easy, Sam. Nice standard day, and I will catch up with you all again same time tomorrow. Bye for now.